Hello, Year Fours, and welcome to your next English lesson. So today's lesson is the conclusion to our instructions that we have been doing over the last few weeks. And today you will be writing your final hot task. So before you start, please make sure that you have a piece of paper that you can neatly write on, a ruler, and a pencil. Please make sure you are writing with a pencil today. I know that some of you have been home and you've been using pens, and it is sometimes making our handwriting a little bit untidy, and I want to make sure that today's final hot task is as neat as we possibly can write it. So go and get the tools that you need and then come and sit back down. Right. Please make sure with your final independent write that you find somewhere quiet to do this, and make sure that you are laying your work out neatly. You need to remember everything that needs to be included in our instructions. I'm happy for you to refer back to your toolkits that you had right at the beginning. So the ones that you made, you are welcome to use those. Have them next to you while you are writing. You could also put the example text up if you would like. You could have the one that you've been writing and been editing and the way that you've laid it out. You can also have that just so you can see it and remind yourself how it should be laid out. So go and get all those things. Make sure you're writing somewhere quietly and that you are ready to do your work. Remember that when you are writing a task independently, this means it is without help. Okay, just like we do our hot tasks at school, this is something that you are going to show me your very best piece of writing and show me how much you have learned over the past few weeks. Right, this is just a reminder of your toolkits of what you are going to be needing in your writing. I've got a labeled example of our key text. It needs a title. We've got an introductory paragraph, the equipment needed in bullet points, subheadings, the steps or the method used, and it's usually numbered and uses adverbs of time and imperative verbs and other adverbs that explain things. We've talked quite a lot about that. And then you have a closing paragraph, sometimes a reminder of what you should avoid or not do. And then we also spoke about the fact that it will often include a diagram or an illustration. And I did say yesterday in the previous lesson that you should draw yourself an illustration or something you can include in your final hot task. It may be a map of which way you're going or how you're going to take over the school. It may be a picture of one of the things you're going to need to help you take over the school. It may be a picture of yourself ready to take over the school and rule the school. So that needs to all be included in your instructions. I have created a support mat, so you are more than welcome to pause the video now to have a look at what has been included. And I think I did put this on Tapestry. If not, I will put it up. It's just to support you with your writing, so reminding you how to lay it out. It's giving you some examples of imperative verbs. We've got some adverbs that we can add. We've got some vocabulary words for the English that you may want to include. So we're looking at the words like plunder, invade, instructions, conquer, defeat. All those would be fantastic words to include in your writing. We've also got some useful adverbs of time. So like first, next, then, when, after, before, while, lastly, finally, secondly, after that, now. I'm going to remind you that your writing needs to be in the second person. So you're referring to the people as you or your. You shouldn't say I or we or me. So make sure you're using the correct perspective. Make sure you're writing in the second person perspective. So pause the video now, take note of the things that you may need to use in this. I'm going to lower down in case you want to write down some of those. You pause there, some of the vocabulary words, some of your adverbs. Okay, right, moving on. Finally, here is a checklist that you could use to help you with your writing. And our checklist lists things like punctuated sentences with full stops, use capital letters for proper nouns. My set of instructions includes, does it have a title and subheadings? Does it have an introduction? Does it have a list of things you will need? Does it have step-by-step instructions? Have you used numbered bullets to make the order clear? Have you used imperative verbs? Have you used adverbs or verbs? Have you made good use of your adjectives, your adverbs of time, and your technical vocabulary? Have you used conjunctions or adverbial phrases to join your two ideas? And I've also given you some examples there. So although, when you get there, before you begin, have you punctuated your fronted adverbials correctly with a comma? Have you included a diagram or an illustration with a caption of what it is and maybe a title of what it is, a subtitle? So if you need anything from there, you can pause it and write down a little checklist for yourself that once you have finished writing your final hot task, you can go through it and edit the work yourself. Well, go through it and tick off if you have included each one of these things. So your final task for instructions, your final 3 tasks are the following. Neatly write your final set of neatly write out, that should say out your final set of instructions. Read through your instructions and make sure that you have the correct spellings and layouts and punctuation, like we spoke about in the previous lessons, where you are editing your work, making sure that you have used the correct capital letters, making sure that this is the neatest piece of handwriting you've given me, you've used your subheadings, you've used your paragraphs, everything that you need to include. And then you will finally draw your illustration at the bottom and you will caption it. Don't forget to share this with us on Tapestry. I'd really love to see your final piece, your final set of instructions of how to take over the school. Take your time with this, don't rush through it, and try and do it independently, please.